Right, so hopefully you all have some selection criteria, either for a scholarship or a job, or maybe you've actually developed your own selection criteria by looking at position descriptions. So the next phase is to look at how you're actually going to apply your examples to those specific criteria. Now, the most important thing is that you do actually have to address each one. So you can't think, oh, well, I've used an example there, they'll match that up. It's really important that you use each one as the heading and then you use your examples underneath it. It's a bit like if you do a test and you only answer 3 out of the 5 questions, you're going to be at a definite disadvantage. Now, sometimes it can be hard to work out where to use your examples, so we recommend that you actually start by dot pointing your examples and working out where they best fit. Now remember, we've got a long time to do this, so we don't actually have to submit scholarship applications until the 31st of October. So you may even still be needing to develop some evidences against the criteria where you might be a little bit light on. So what we're going to use is a common method that's called the STAR approach. And that you'll see if you Google this, that there are lots of other ways that you can address selection criteria. Another one is called the CAR approach, where you're looking at the circumstance, the action, and a result. The STAR approach of addressing selection criteria is quite commonly used. So what you do with this one is you describe, first of all, the situation. You then go on to explain the tasks that you were given responsibility for or that you were responsible for, what you actually did, so that's the skills that you used. It could be IT skills, communication skills, and then finally the result. So what actually happened in the task that you're describing. So did you have lots of feedback from customers who were happy with the service that you've given? So this is an example of how you might apply that. So here's, you might have been, the criteria might be something in what activities are you involved in apart from your studies, which indicated leadership, initiative and teamwork. So here's an example, the situation, being on a committee to organise a Don College ball. This committee led a new initiative, so we're using some of the words from the selection criteria. As Don College has not had a student ball for many years, and you go on to explain that. The task, what you actually did, I led a small team to organise and promote, so we're using the teamwork part of the selection criteria. And you go on to explain as the leader what you actually did. And then the action, we ensured that all people were aware of the event by doing, and then what you were responsible for. And the result, we have 200 students who have expressed interest in the event, and you can continue to expand on that depending on how many words you've got. So as I said, you could go on to explain in a little bit more detail what you actually did, so how you consulted with team members and you resolved any problems and that you drew on people's expertise, and then you might go on to say how that further increased sales. So here's a bit more of a detailed or an alternative answer. So you might say, as a team member of the Don College Ball Committee for the past year, I helped to organise a new event and to attract students to want to attend. I took the initiative to suggest changes to the way in which the event could be advertised with the goal to garner additional interest. This included developing promotional materials using my IT skills and using social media strategies to connect with students. I convened a meeting to present my suggestions, making sure to provide my reasons for initiating any change. I invited input and exchange of ideas. My suggestions were adopted with minor adaptations. Following the meeting, I developed a plan to implement the suggested changes into practical tasks. I identified and met with individual team members to draw on their strengths to help carry out these tasks. By recognising individual talents, drawing team members into the process and working in pairs to complete tasks, our team was able to offer a more engaging recruitment strategy. We have 200 students who have purchased tickets. So you can see how by using that method, then you can develop a cohesive response. Okay, so now it's your turn.